In the shadow of Sauron's fiery gaze, Middle-earth teetered on the brink of destruction. While the siege of Gondor and the Battle of the Pelennor Fields raged in the south, the fate of the free peoples hung just as heavily in the north. Here, the resilient kingdoms of Dale and Erebor, alongside the ancient Elven realms, faced the Dark Lord's relentless forces. Simultaneously, the men of the West prepared for a desperate final stand at the Black Gate. How did these battles, fought on distant fronts, intertwine to decide the future of Middle-earth? Let's dive into the epic tale of courage, sacrifice, and the unyielding fight against darkness. Sauron's strategy to conquer Middle-earth extended far beyond Gondor. Years before the War of the Ring, Gandalf, then the Grey Wizard, foresaw the Dark Lord's plans to unleash Smaug, the Dragon of Erebor, as a weapon of mass destruction. By aiding Thorin in reclaiming the Lonely Mountain, Gandalf ensured Smaug's death at the hands of Bard, thwarting Sauron's scheme and establishing the Kingdom of Dale and the Kingdom Under the Mountain as vital northern bulwarks. Yet, Sauron's ambitions persisted. In TA 3018, his messengers approached the Lonely Mountain in Dale, demanding information about the Shire, hobbits, and Bilbo's Ring, while urging submission to Mordor. When refused, the Dark Lord's Easterling allies began massing on Dale's borders, and foul creatures from Dol Guldur encroached on the elven realms of Thranduil and Lothlórien. The stage was set for a brutal northern campaign. On March 17th, TA 3019, a massive Easterling host from Run invaded Dale, aiming to crush the city and its allies. With approximately 20,000 well-equipped warriors, the Easterlings overwhelmed the combined forces of 3,500 men of Dale and 2,500 dwarves of Erebor and the Iron Hills. Kings Brand and Dane too met the enemy in open battle, relying on the superior arms and armor forged in Erebor's foundries. After 3 days of fierce fighting, the defenders' lines broke under the enemy's numerical advantage. Retreating to the impregnable gates of the Lonely Mountain, Brand and Dane led a desperate rearguard action. Brand fell to an Easterling blade, and Dane, enraged, stood over his ally's body, slaying countless foes before meeting his own end. The surviving forces locked themselves within Erebor, enduring a prolonged siege, their hopes pinned on the broader war's outcome. While Dale and Erebor fought for survival, the Elven realms faced their own trials. Lothlórien endured 3 assaults from Dol Guldur's orcs on March 11th, 15, and 22, TA 3019, repelled by Celeborn and Galadriel's leadership and the power of Galadriel's ring. Simultaneously, Thranduil's realm in Mirkwood faced a massive orc horde on March 15th in the Battle Under the Trees. Thranduil's archers and personal leadership secured victory, though the battle left Mirkwood scarred by fire. These elven victories, achieved despite weakened forces due to many elves sailing to Valinor, prevented Sauron from consolidating his northern front, buying critical time for the Free Peoples. As the northern battles raged, Frodo and Sam, guided by the treacherous Gollum, reached Cirith Ungol. Gollum's betrayal led Frodo into the lair of Shelob, a monstrous spider. Paralyzed by her sting, Frodo was saved by Sam, who wielded Sting and the Light of Arendelle to drive Shelob off. Mistaking Frodo for dead, Sam took the One Ring, determined to complete their quest. However, orcs from Cirith Ungol captured Frodo, still alive, and took him to their tower. Sam infiltrated the tower amidst an Orc-era conflict, rescuing Frodo and returning the ring. Disguised as orcs, the hobbits pressed on across the perilous plains of Gorgoroth toward Mount Doom, evading thousands of enemies. Following the defense of Minas Tirith, Aragorn convened the last debate outside the city, refusing to claim kingship until the war was won. Gandalf proposed a desperate plan: march to the Black Gate to distract Sauron, giving Frodo and Sam a chance to destroy the ring. Despite the odds, Aragorn led 7,000 men of Gondor and Rohan, including the Grey Company, toward Mordor. Along the way, they repelled ambushes by Haradrim and Easterlings and allowed some wavering soldiers to depart for Caer Andris, reducing their force to 6,000. At the Black Gate, the mouth of Sauron demanded surrender, displaying Frodo's mithril vest to sow despair. The men of the West refused, prompting Sauron to unleash a massive army of 60,000 to 100,000 orcs, trolls, and Uruks, surrounding Aragorn's host. The men of the West positioned themselves on two slag piles in the plain of Morannon, led by Imrahil and Eomer on one, and Aragorn and Gandalf on the other. The slag piles' height advantage and the army's discipline allowed them to withstand the initial onslaught. The Great Eagles, led by Gwaihir, countered the Nazgul, preventing them from breaking the lines. However, armored trolls and flanking orcs strained the defenders' resolve. As the battle teetered, Frodo and Sam reached Mount Doom. Frodo, overwhelmed by the ring's power, claimed it for himself, alerting Sauron. Gollum's attack on Frodo inadvertently led to the ring's destruction when he fell into the Crack of Doom, causing Baradur's collapse and Sauron's defeat. With the ring destroyed, Sauron's forces collapsed. Orcs fled, and many Easterlings and Haradrim were slain or surrendered. Aragorn led his forces into Mordor to purge remaining orc strongholds and free the slaves of Nirn, granting them the region. In the north, news of Sauron's fall reached the Easterlings besieging Erebor, shattering their morale. On March 27th, Bar II and Thorin III Stonehelm led a sortie, ending the siege. The elves, led by Celeborn, Galadriel, and Thranduil, destroyed Dol Guldur, with Galadriel's magic leveling its walls. The War of the Ring concluded, securing Middle-earth's freedom, though at great cost to the dwindling Dwarven and Elven populations. The War of the Ring reshaped Middle-earth, ending Sauron's threat and ushering in the Age of Man. The sacrifices of Dale, Erebor, the elves, and the men of the West ensured the ring's destruction and the survival of the free peoples. Join us in our next exploration of Middle-earth's history, and don't miss our upcoming coverage of battles across fantasy, sci-fi, and space opera universes. Subscribe, like, and share to support our journey, and let us know in the comments which epic tales you'd love to see next.